heard of Silicon Valley, haven't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Good man. Good guy.
All right, let's get started.
You don't want that up there, do you?
Hey, good morning. So welcome to 1 Million Cups Houston. One of the organizers, Anthony Covington. So you're probably wondering, with all the decorations and everything that's going on, we're in the Microsoft store today. They had a wild night last night, as you can see with Cinco de Mayo. But we're here bright and early this morning to bring you Feedsense. But before I bring our presenter to the stage, just a few announcements about what's going on this week and a little bit of next week. So today, in the same location, at lunch, we're having an event called Pitch to Perfect. The idea is you have a 3-minute elevator pitch and you get feedback from a live audience. That will be today here at the Microsoft store in the Galleria from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So yeah, come bring your ideas, get some live feedback, and just have the opportunity to practice your pitch over lunch. Startup Grind is next week. So next Wednesday from 6 to 9, Laura Capper of Cap Resources will be there. The story on her, let's put it this way, I think a couple of $1 billion company, investor. It's just an amazing story that she's created. It's one that you definitely want to be in. I believe it's at M2520 place here in the Galleria. We'll put more information out a little bit later. Lean Houston will be having their event on the 21st of the month at Start Houston. The Houston Electric Car Association will be having an event this Thursday. And Tech Champs for the month will be at the South Campus, HTC South Campus in Clear Lake. And it'll be this Friday. Also, for the final announcement, there will not be 1MC next week. So go ahead and put it out there now. So without any further ado, I would like to bring Tom Hickey to the stage with Feedsense.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Anthony. I wanted to first of all thank 1 Million Cups for this opportunity to make a presentation today and explain to you a little bit about a company called Feedsense and its product. It's been in development for about 8-9 months now, and we're about to go into a beta test mode. So this is a work in progress, and I hope that you'll understand. But I'd like to explain to you, first of all, what is the product, why is it important, and then show you some differentiation of why we're different from other potential competitors. And then we'll talk a little bit about what the potential is for actually creating some revenue. Let me get started. I want to start out by just framing the type of opportunity that is out there for Feedsense. The inventor wasn't able to be here today, but he noticed a need in the marketplace that really stemmed from a series of questions. First of all, how do enterprises improve their operations, products, services, and profitability? Well, they listen to their customers. And when they listen to their customers, they use that information, the customer's opinion, of the enterprise to pivot and get new direction for their business. Sorry. I don't know what I did there. I'm sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Okay. And how do the enterprises listen to their customers? Well, one way, you can actually observe your customers getting their experience in your establishment, or you can ask customers how the enterprise performed in creating that customer's experience. How do they ask their customers? Traditionally, you'll hear things like, how's my drive-in? If you'd like to take a short survey about your experience, press 1. Receive 5 fuel points. Go to the following website and complete a short survey. It's kind of a rhetorical question, but how many of you out there have ever actually answered any of these types of requests? So the problem out there, the need to be solved, the actual response rate for these types of data collection methods is actually 1% or less. So you're really not getting much data. With such low response rate, unfortunately, negative experience responses will tend to be more prevalent and a greater percentage of the total responses. The quality of data is mostly general in nature. Most customer surveys don't collect data that's relevant to the business interest at heart. One of the solutions, or the solution, is to collect specific customer sentiment and provide analysis of meaningful data. Feedback generates profits, and profits make sense. Feedsense. Customer-oriented enterprises in many sectors will benefit from higher customer response rates, meaning more data, collect data for specific attributes of interest, higher quality of data, and real-time information regarding negative customer experiences, timely data. We selected the restaurant sector as our point of entry into the marketplace. There are many other sectors that would be potential customers. It's basically whatever enterprise wants to know about their customer's experience, whether it be a bank, a service company, or in this case, restaurants. Growth rates in restaurants have been pretty steady, and you can see from this depiction, Texas has a growth rate of about 4.7% a year, and Houston has more than about 15,000 restaurants. So there's a substantial market available. Technology in the restaurants has been increasing also. You probably all experienced the ordering process either from a tablet that's in the restaurant or online apps, other customer-facing technologies. For the most part, they've been addressing the actual ordering process, trying to speed up the customer service. Whether or not you're actually getting any feedback from your customers on how your enterprise is actually operating is questionable. Forbes conducted some surveys, and I'm not going to go through all the details here, but just some of the examples of the technology in restaurants today: mobile ordering, iPad ordering, kiosks, Facebook ordering, tabletop, e-waiter and checkout. And this is a pretty significant one because people have to wait for their credit cards, and that's a risk in terms of letting go of your credit card. Games while you wait, it sounds like a great idea, but I'm not sure it works for the purpose of a restaurant when they want to turn tables. If you have the children playing games, they're likely to sit on that table too long. And online coupons, you can make various offers that way. But again, not a lot of information getting back to the management of the restaurant to see how things are actually going, whether servers are effective, whether the menu is good, and whether the restaurant's clean, is there a nice ambiance, all those sorts of things that restaurant owners may be interested in. This is a little difficult to see this slide, but our major competition is coming from 4 tablet and app type businesses. The one that most closely resembles ours is Hum Systems. Again, it's a tablet-based system that collects a lot of data. Their market segment that they're aiming at is the franchise and national chains. You'll see in a minute, we're directing it a little bit differently, and I think that's one of the advantages we have. We have the ability to change our system on the fly so it fits each customer rather than a set standard determined by the company itself. Our pre-launch marketing strategy, we're going to be using direct sales. We're going to be going into the Houston-based market. We'll also be initially centering on owner-operated businesses and small franchise. Most of the activity we're going to be doing now, as I said earlier, is going to be beta testing, collecting data, getting customer feedback on the serviceability and options and adaptability of our system and make changes as necessary to the platform. The marketing dollars are going to be predominantly for direct sales. We'll also be trying to attend some conventions and other areas here in Houston to create interest and awareness of the product itself. We'll also be using creative methods using social media. An awful lot of the restaurants are all now part of the social media world, and we'll make our product fit into that world. In the business analysis, again, it's a tablet-based, web-based platform that allows people to determine their own questions to ask. It's technically about 5 questions that can be answered in about 30 seconds. So it's something that does not take a lot of time, but can collect a lot of data. Monetizing Feedsense, again, this is a work in progress, but the initial foray into the marketplace here in Houston for individual restaurant program will be $199 a month service fee with a maximum of 5 tablets. A minimum of term of the rental agreement is 6 months. And for extra tablets, we'll charge $39 a month, again, for a minimum rental of 6 months. And we figured right now the tablet cost is about $90. Let me show you. I wanted to show you a little bit of monetizing here, and I'm going to go ahead and point out a few things because did we not get there? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anthony. We have operator error in this case, but he took care of it for me. If you take a look, it's kind of hard to see these numbers, but what I wanted to point out is the assumptions on penetration. And this will be following our beta testing that we'll be doing over the next 3 or 4 months. In the first 12 months, we expect to introduce the system to 24 restaurants. And we're assuming each restaurant will be paying the $195 a month and be using 5 tablets. Some of these restaurants may not be using all 5 tablets, which would reduce our overall costs. And then you see there's also a cumulative line. So this represents a growth of about 300% in the second year, and another 300% in the third year, 200% fourth, and 200% in the fifth year. So really, by the end of the 5th year, and I think these are conservative numbers, we're only at about 1,600 restaurants using the system. And as I said earlier, Houston has about 15,000 restaurants. This also does not include any of the penetration of franchise or chain restaurants that may take place as we introduce the system. Our operating costs, cost of sales, we have an amortization of the software development costs, and we also have the cost of the tablets at $90. Operating expenses, that includes the initial staffing, out-of-pocket costs for travel and shows. It also shows up for our commission program. Initially, we'll start out with commission-only salespeople, and as we get more penetration, we'll add actually direct salespeople that earn salary plus commission. So you can see the growth in that as we go out. The resulting operating profit, we don't expect to make a profit in the first 12 months. We'll be profitable in the second 12 months and then generating pretty nice profitability thereafter. And let me see if I can do this right now.
Go to the PowerPoint, open the slideshow from current slide. From current slide. There it is. But you have to go to the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to advance this. One too many.
There you go.
Okay, and the next thing I wanted to do is actually just give you a real brief overview of the existing website as it stands today.
So
Go
close
here.
the
Yeah.
end the slideshow. It's up top.
I'm getting there, Anthony.
Internet Explorer, Feedsense.
Okay. this is our landing page for Feedsense. And again, our tagline, feedback generates profits and profits make sense. Feedsense. The website is still under development, but this part of it, you can actually go to the website and see who we are and how we help and how the system works. Here we basically have a tablet configuration that's done online on the website. You have a passcode to get into the website, and you can configure your own servers, questions, and really make the whole survey process relevant to your business at that moment. You can change your questions on the fly. If you have a particular interest in knowing whether or not your menu items should change, you can ask questions about the menu items. If you're concerned about server activity and knowledge, you can ask questions about your servers. If you're interested in the type of ambiance or how the restaurant is received in general in creating a good customer experience, you can configure those types of questions. The data is displayed on a tablet, and the tablet is used by a server to actually ask the customer to fill out the 5 questions. It takes about 30 seconds, and while they're doing the bill, they can fill out the questionnaire, and we collect that information in a real-time basis. And it's engaging the customers, helps them feel like you really are concerned about their attitude and their experience in that restaurant. In addition, we have notification, or manager notification. If something happens to be a negative response on the tablet at a particular station, that can be sent as an alert to either a cell phone or the tablet that the manager has, letting them know that at that location or at that server location, there's a problem. So he has an opportunity to correct the problem before the people leave the restaurant. And again, if you go back to the survey results and the traditional way it's done, those people that had a negative experience, they probably are going to respond. And that creates bad will and bad information out there, and it's not giving you a true picture of your operation. There's also offline caching. The data is available for, obviously, the restaurant manager. It's available for the regional manager, and it can be available at the corporate level. And it can be formatted to show only the relevant information at each of those levels. So the corporate entity can actually manage each store remotely. They can manage their regional managers, and they can see how their restaurant's progressing. And there's a dashboard platform that's available to the manager and the others in the upstream. This would not be available to the servers because they may not want to know how well they're doing. And our application includes creating the survey results, evaluation of performance, long-term analytics that can be used over time to manage how the customer's experience is related to your profitability and your planning. It's configurable questions, and this is an important feature that doesn't exist in most other survey methods. And the data information accessibility is available basically as soon as that server collects the information and it's uploaded to the cloud, and it's available then through the administrative process. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll take any questions.
Okay. Just so I understand, this is basically a system where the waiter brings a tablet to the table and they answer the questions right there on the spot.
Yes, and there's a time lag between the time they present the bill and they either collect the money or the credit card and do the service. It only takes, it's actually less than 30 seconds to answer the 5 questions. So the customer doesn't, they're not delayed in the process.
Okay. I do have a couple of questions because I've been in this space. As far as restaurants and analytics. One, when the analytics are uploaded to the cloud, whose cloud is it?
Technical guy?
It's It's our cloud, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
It's
So
our-
you
our-
have the information, so
Right.
you'd be able to create analytics from
Yes.
a bunch of restaurants, and ultimately, as an income stream, sell.
Yes,
insights,
I
right?
didn't address that, and I think that was something that when we began doing the initial unlocking and exploring of this customer's or the inventor's product, it became really clear right off that this collection of data across thousands of restaurants can be very valuable in itself. We even talked somewhat about creating the opportunity to create your own Yelp with that data, because you're getting more variance in the data than what you see on Yelp. And since you're collecting more data, if a restaurant is concerned about their rating on any of those rating services, again, negative responses are going to be more prevalent because people want to be heard about the negative experience and not necessarily a good one.
So let me ask this: what motivation does a customer have to answer those questions?
We also make available the opportunity for the restaurant or other business enterprise to offer kind of incentives for people to participate. It's also a way to try and enhance the ability to have customer retention, because if they've had a good experience and you know there's a good experience, you can collect their they can go to the website and collect a coupon maybe for their next visit, hopefully getting a return customer, because it's all about getting the initial awareness of the enterprise, getting that customer in your enterprise the first time, and then retaining that customer.
So who's giving the coupon? Is the coupon coming from you guys, or is the coupon coming from the restaurant?
It's going to be established by the restaurant or the enterprise itself.
So let me put out why I'm asking. This can go back to the whole Groupon versus open table, whereas you had the challenge of severe discounting versus everything going through open table, so it looked like open table was doing the discounting and not the restaurant. So I don't know what kind of thought process that you put through that, but I think that perception is very important for your restaurant too.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And again, we'll be learning a lot more about what features we can offer the restaurant or any enterprise in terms of being able to bring customers back a second time and what they would like to do. Because again, the system is very customizable at this point.
That's another question. You talk about customer sentiment. Could this same system be used for employee sentiment?
Yes, definitely.
Have you guys thought about that?
We haven't reached out to all the ideas. We've had a lot of brainstorming about the use of this. Again, the inventor's initial concept was to use it in restaurants. Once again we got into the details of it, it's really a data collection platform, and it can be used to collect employee opinions of the business. It could be we've got an election coming up in 2016. It could be something to collect data at the polls or otherwise. It's a methodology to collect data, and it's valuable to all sorts of enterprises, not just restaurants. But our point of entry in the restaurants is probably, there's a couple of good reasons for that. One, we have a big potential here in Houston as it is, and everything already has been aimed at restaurants. So we're going to get our initial penetration there.
My question is, do you have any restaurants currently on board with you right now?
We have not actually put a system in. We have a couple of restaurants where I'll give you a little personal story on it real quickly. I had a business lunch at a restaurant. I'm not going to name them, but it's a very high-end restaurant, and I was meeting a gentleman from out of town. He arrived at the restaurant. It was his reservation. he arrived there first. I was stuck in traffic, Houston, but I was trying to get there, and he asked to be seated. They refused to seat him until the rest of his party, me, was there. They proceeded to seat like 3 or 4 other parties that did not have all their guests there, and he was livid. And when the manager finally came around at the end of the meal and asked, gee, how was your experience? He just saw it's fine. So I jumped in and said, well, no, it wasn't fine. He had to wait, and this is what happened. So, oh, I'm so sorry, And at that point, I turned around and asked her, well, wouldn't it have been nice to know that someone felt that way before they left your restaurant, and you had an opportunity to rectify the problem? Like, why don't you give them a free dessert for the next time in? And she said, oh yeah, no problem. How do you want 1, 2? So they were happy to solve the problem, but they didn't even know they had the problem. So this negative response to any of the 5 questions that restaurant wants to know about is going to trigger an alert that gives management, now they may not do it, but it gives management the opportunity to go to that table, solve the problem, and turn a customer that had bad experience into now a good experience.
Let's talk about client acquisition. So what's your game plan on bringing restaurants on board?
Okay. First step is getting the first one. We're going to try and get about a dozen sites. There'll be beta sites. The initial foray into that will be, give us 1 server and 1 tablet. And we'll help you set it up. You tell us what kind of questions you want. We'll show you how to configure it. We'll get them set up, and we'll use that 1 server's responses to see if that data really justifies the roughly $200 a month. Once you get past that, you attempt to close that individual restaurant. If we can get 12 restaurants to buy into this program, whether they're owner-operated restaurants or whether a single restaurant of a small franchise or whatever it is, we'll be able to use that to take the next step. And we'll be training over the summer. We're working with interns from the university that are actually they're in the sales program. We're going to take them, train them. We're going to give them qualified leads, or at least leads, and they'll go out and basically pitch it as try one. Here's the system, here's the presentation, and try one. You basically free of charge for 1.
How does a restaurant get involved if they want to get a beta site?
They can contact Fruition Technology Labs, and Fruition can direct them to the right parties of Feedsense, and we'd be delighted to have lots of people come and try it. Yes, sir.
Yes, have you considered targeting banks?
Actually,
and other
yes.
institutions that ask for surveys currently?
Yeah, again, when I get involved in a product like this, I usually will try and find out what's already out there, and exactly that. We have actually had personal experiences at banks where you're finished and they are at that point in time collecting surveys, and they want to know, can you go to the website and take this survey? And if you ask them, well, would this work for you here? They say, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So almost any enterprise that has direct contact with their customers, it's a B2C relationship, they are going to be interested in collecting that information. Just another sideline, if you have the experience, which you can now go pay attention to what people are asking you. If you look at a receipt from Walmart, Randall's, Kroger, almost any place where you go to shop, there will be at the bottom of your receipt, it's going to ask you to go to their website or to a special website and fill out a survey. And some of them actually give you rewards. I used the one example, 50 free fuel points for filling out the survey. I won't say which entity that was, but I actually went to that website, started filling out the survey, spent about probably 4 minutes getting through it, and it died. I could not finish. So what the first problem with this kind of data collection is it's like selling. If you've got an opportunity to sell somebody something, you close. You don't let them leave. Anybody buy an automobile recently? I mean, they'll do anything to keep you there until you make the decision. Most of these other enterprises, you go there, you do your business, and you leave. Whatever the experience you had is undocumented, it's gone. And the likelihood of somebody coming back and being gracious enough to tell you how wonderful their experience was is slim. Statistics show it's a very low percentage. So what we want to do, it's like point of sale. At the point of sale, we want to collect the data.
So I have an idea as far as honing the presentation and using a different type of story. So you're looking to get to restaurants. How about doing a presentation at a Rotary Club?
Love it. Any kind of Rotary Club, any kind of organization that's dealing with local businesses.
Well, that's the suggestion, to get in touch with them, but to do so as the expert in the arena, but showing the product. So in other words, you've identified one of the problems with the negative feedback response and the timeliness of it, and what it's able to do for businesses in the setup. So to actually create the story in a way that is informative rather than more of a selling point, you're able to still get your product in front of folks while giving them food for thought.
Yeah, like I said, the presentation is a work in progress. One of the things we want to be able to do is actually demo the tablet and the website, because that's a strong selling point. Again, if it's a group of Houston-based independent pizza parlors or whatever it is, if there's an association where there's a group of people there, we would welcome the opportunity to come make a presentation.
Well, that would be like a food truck park, right?
Yeah.
Food trucks could actually use it, so you only need one tablet.
That's right.
So, any more questions?
I don't have any.
Well, final question is, what can we as a community do for you?
I think it's just help us with the outreach. We need opportunities. Thank you very much. Thank you, 1 Million Cups.
It's not 1 million and one.
What?
It's not 1 million and one.
All right. 1 Million Cups would like to use the actually, Microsoft.
So I played in the space, and that's how I know about the Rotary Club. Because for me, it was the video with the data analytics and POS systems. So the other thing is that I could probably think of a few people, especially when you're starting to spread for this particular company, they could use 1 Million Cups to like get into different places. Like I did my presentation at Shreveport, and I actually pulled out a beta customer restaurant from them. And so they bring a lot of things together.
Well, again, one of the things that